What is good, guys? This is going to be today with TM for July 16th, Wednesday, 2025. So let's get into it. I went in today with a bearish bias, and that is due to the higher time frame. We're finally at like an area where I feel comfortable shorting and kind of have like a clear higher time frame bias. So obviously with this 4 hour, we wanted to wait for the close of our new 4 hour. So if we look at, I'm just going to clear this. Look at our higher time frame. So we'll start off on the 4 hour. This closure here on our first 4 hour, very bearish, as you can see here, before our 7 a.m. Our new 4 hour open, and we wanted to see that wick be put into the upside and then catch shorts. And also we wanted to catch shorts off of pretty much off open due to our levels. So with our 4 hour, we had a higher 1 hour gap, which was closer to our order block. So that's where I wanted to see price trade into, and I wanted to tap into this order block here because this is very, very strong. And if we go down to the 30-minute, we also had an order block there and a 15-minute OB, which was, that's my bread and butter, is the 15-minute, especially something like this where we have a lot of confluence at this level, right? Because we don't like to trade 4 hour and 1 hour, PD arrays when we execute on the 1 minute. So if we drop down to the 5 minute as well, you can see that we have a lot of time frame alignment and a lot of higher time frame confluence to be bearish. However, we'd also had data highs, which I know a lot of people were shorting pre-market for some reason because we had an SMT, but I like to wait for, if we have an SMT with data highs or data lows, I like it to be during New York session, not pre-market, just because we have more, you can say resting orders, just more orders with market being open. So with data highs here, I wanted to see a sweep of data highs, tapping into our level because we had a lot of confluence for these, I said high 90s levels when I started the live around 20 minutes before market open. And as you can see here, we swept and we instantly dumped. So I had no really entry points here. There was a 3 minute that I said I was willing to trade off of if we had the retracement. But as you can see here, this was our 3 minute high. And if we go down to the 1 minute, this high here, I don't know why it's so small. It kind of pisses me off. Hold up. I'm going to make that bigger. This 3 minute high never tapped in, or else I would have taken shorts here. So that kind of sucks. And obviously our target for the day on shorts were London lows, as you can see here. And the trade would have looked something like this, even though I probably would have been stopped in profit by then. But yeah, we never got entered. That's fine. So we dropped down to the 1 hour. The reason I took longs in the first place was because we had the 4 hour wick we put in. It looked like we were actually going to be respecting kind of this area for longs, and we kind of did. So we kind of are currently just zoning. If we go down like to there was a really nice 15-minute play. Yeah, so this order block here, very, very strong. As you can see, we tapped CE of it like beautifully. I think there was a 30-minute gap as well and a 30-minute order block we were all respecting. So higher time frame looked like it was actually going to hold this level. So I saw the opportunity for longs, and I waited for an entry model, and I told you guys if we get it, we're taking it. So for entry-wise, we had a OTE set up here with multiple gaps down here. I wanted to see, just because we did have London lows, so this was a bit of a riskier long play. London lows below, I wanted to see like an initial reaction to kind of confirm that buyers were here and that our level, or that our protected low was going to hold. And the reason I say this is a protected low is because we soup this low here. As you can see through all this consolidation, no inverses, no V-shaped recovery, nothing of the sort. When we get a reaction like this, we inverse this fair value gap here. So you can kind of count this as like a BPR as well, which it is, or a retest of a fair value gap. When you hear people say a retest of a fair value gap, it's a BPR. Anyways, soup, and we get a V-shaped recovery like this. Confirmed this is a protected low down here. Very simple. Confirmed we have a soup, we have a V-shaped recovery, and we have some type of lower time frame confluence to confirm that, our level is going to be confirmed. Or that we got that buyers are here basically, and that it's kind of confirmed that this is going to hold. So this low turns into a protected low. Look at that, protected low, okay? So instead of having a limit order at OTE or RTM pocket, which is 0.665, I wanted to wait for confirmation, again, due to London lows resting down here. And once I saw this candle, this reaction here with kind of just looking at order flow and PA, I hopped in at 70 flat, I remember, when I called it out to you guys. So it was still basically an OTE play because we got filled basically where 0.62 is. And stops, I originally was like, okay, I would usually have a body stop here, a body low stop, but with a protected low, it's only a 2 to 3 point difference. So I'm just going to hold that as my stop. And then once we displace, move my stop to this low, which right when we got entered, we displaced and retook this high. So it looked pretty safe. Targets wise, we were targeting internal liquidity. So an unmitigated 15-minute gap here, which this sucked right here. Also, there was confluence to be short here due to this 5-minute order block as well, and a few other mid to lower time frame reasonings. But if you're in the live, you kind of know what we're talking about. So that was the target for the play. As you can see here, we got edged by a tick, and I ended up getting stopped down profit like 0.22. So I missed out on like 7 or 8 points, which is fine. Still a very good trade. So that trade ended up playing out. Very nice entry. Basically no drawdown whatsoever, just like the first minute. And yeah, it was a very good trade. We ended up taking out that 15-minute. I don't know why we dumped here. I guess it was just the reaction at the 5-minute order block as well. So that was holding. Now this play, yeah, so that was the trade for the day. One and done. Locked out. This play is what I really wanted. So let me walk you guys through this. So first off, 15-minute BPR, balanced price range. When we have a bullish fair value gap, inverse it. We create BPR, balanced price range, basically two fair value gaps overlapping each other. Okay, 30-minute as well. Okay, 1 hour order block. If we're going to continue to be bearish and look for more down in momentum, this is going to be our order block here. And if we look at the body high to body low, let's base that off CE, and then we have that 5-minute as well, right? So a lot of confluence to short here, right? All of this, all of the higher time frame reasoning I just went over. Now, where would I want to short or do a limit sell in this exact example? This is a prime OTE example here. So if we want to look at our whole bearish leg and find our OTE, we're going to go high of open to low of our 4 hour, because this is our current leg, right? That was our bearish leg, because then we had a new 4 hour open, we had a wick, all of this bullshit. So that is our leg right there. Now, high to low, let me actually make it a bit closer so you guys can see this. Back to the 1 minute. All the higher time frame reasoning. You can also base like lower time frame or mid time frame order blocks here. 2 minute, 3 minute, and then obviously our strongest one, our 5 minute. It looks very nice. I originally told you guys in the live before we ended it, I was like, okay, when we were retesting this high with a soup, I was like, okay, I'm gonna look to put a limit sell at literally 0.4250 at TM Pocket. However, with this dump here, so when we were kind of pacing up, waiting for that entry, Trump wanted to start talking. So we called it alive, took off the limit sell, or I did. I know NG and David, 2 people in the community, still took the short here, which is amazing. And what have targets been? We never took out London lows. Remember that. We never took out London lows. So that's still our higher time frame drawn liquidity. Clear target, clear entry. And the best thing about OTE plays, if we're going to be respecting all of these gaps, I probably would have had my stop above this order block, or above the 15-minute, depending on your risk, above the 15-minute fair value gap. So like it could have been this. How I would have based this is you could have really put it at this 5-minute wick, but it's an unmitigated 5-minute. So I probably would have based this off of the high of the 1 minute. So this body high here, which it looked very, very nice to run, even though this is like a 10R, this is how it played out. So sucks to see with Trump speaking, I had to stay out of the market, but this proves that our levels are very, very consistent. The only bad thing about OTE is you need a lot of steps and you need a lot of confluence that all align to really play out like this. And also, who would have known that it would have worked out this well, knowing Trump was speaking? So not much. This was definitely a risky play. That's why I didn't take it. But yeah, that is the trade we took, the trade I saw. And with market currently, we're kind of just ranging. We still have an hour of market of till close, around an hour and a half. And I still think higher time frame are bearish, so I'm gonna look to see how overnight moves. I think potentially this week we're gonna be a bear week, and we could potentially see these lows at 700s, kind of this low of day as well. Even though we had Trump talking, which looks very bullish currently, that's how I feel. So we shall see how overnight plays, and I'm going into the week bearish. That is the Today with TM for July 16th, 2025.